Doesn't get old, Snit. The celebration and your view of Freddie, big deep sigh right there. Freddie in the eighth, just great on great.
So you can't make that up. I mean, it's just somebody asked me if I was thinking that. I had so many things going on in my mind when that happened, when he hit that ball. Like I say, that was like the perfect ending. Unbelievable. And to God, I don't know that I've ever been involved in a game like that. Just the intensity and everything that went on and back and forth, and my God, it was something else.
Mark?
Snit, what was it like to do this in front of the home crowd? I mean,
I was sitting there in the ninth inning trying to think if I remembered what it was like last year in Houston. And I couldn't remember it. I'll never forget this. This has been unbelievable. The fans were amazing today. I always praise them, but it's Braves country came out strong, that's for sure. And those guys appreciate it. They feed on it. I think that was huge, big part of the thing that kept them going in this game. Like I say, we really appreciate the support. I mean, it was loud, and it was really cool. There's a couple of times I did kind of sit back and take it in.
Jeff?
Brian Craig talked about how he brought in Hader in the eighth because he wanted to be best on best, basically. So you're sitting there, 2 outs. What are you thinking now when Freddie, your best, is basically walking to the plate?
And I figured, they were going through the meat of our lineup, and then it was a good move. I would have done the same thing. And honestly, I had so many things going through my mind. We just kind of blown up the bench, and like I say, I was looking, and he hit it, and I watched the ball, and I was like, my God, he got it. So I was distracted almost, just thinking about other things, and because I find myself, and I sit there and I focus on that, and boy, it'd be nice if he hits one. It never happens. So I try and just not even to go there. And I wasn't. I mean, I was sitting there, and he hit it.
I mean, did it take a while before you realized you had the lead?
Yeah, right. No, I knew I had the lead, and I just figured, it's like I say, I sitting there thinking, God, you couldn't script this any better. Have Freddie Freeman hit a go-ahead homer off probably the best closer in the game, if you want to get right down to it, and that's Freddie. I mean, it was great.
David?
Travis mentioned that even though he knew that play he understood the play wasn't reviewable, he thought the crowd got so loud at that time and the team really got into it in that inning.
And that's something I'm gonna have to look at. I mean, I get what they were saying, but because it was a foul ball, and there's no runner type placement, I don't know that it might not have happened before. But when it was explained to me, it was kind of like the thing the other day in the Red Sox game. I get the rule, but I just wonder if it, I'd have to be one of those things that maybe you look at down the road, and if it's a foul ball, then there's no runner placement. Maybe you can review it.
But did you get a sense like he did, the crowd?
No, the crowd, they were. You could tell every person there was into it, and so I mean it's. And there was a lot of different, I think, times in that game where guys probably felt that because the fans were so into it.
Yeah, can you walk me through Jorge's situation? When you found out, what the earliest he can return, just the chaos before the game.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sitting in my office, and the medical staff came in, a couple hours before the game, and said he had tested positive, and I was like, oh my God. So it's like, well, we need a new lineup. I mean, you just kind of keep going. I mean, I told Alex, I was like, these guys, it ain't going to affect them. I'm going to tell you that right now. Once the game starts, they're going to be on point and out there to win the game. I mean, after the fact, I hate that he wasn't in there to celebrate with us because he's been such a big part of this. I hate it for him. But, yeah, it was just, because we've been kind of free all year. We haven't had anything. And then all of a sudden, right then, I'm thinking, oh, my God. So we just kind of did what we had to do to clear everything, get Pache up here. I mean, things were spinning pretty fast at the time. I don't know all that. I mean, I never really got a feel how much he's tested, I don't know all that.
Chris?
Snit, after so many seasons and so many different rosters and clubhouses, is one of the greatest compliments a manager can pay is that it's their room. I don't have to be in there. And is that sort of what gets you through a season like this when the ups and downs are happening?
Yeah, no, it is. And they've designed this thing really good here too, because there's doors on it. Because there's a lot of times when they got that music going, I go shut them when I'm in my office. But I feel like it is their room. I go in there briefly if I'm looking for a guy, or if we're going to have any kind of a meeting. But that to me, that's their domain. And I love the way it's structured here. At the other at Turner Field, it was kind of everybody. It was open, with coaches, the whole thing. I love how this is, and it is. This is their, their whatever they're doing. It's their area.
Todd?
Sned, how far were you willing to push Charlie today? Was he getting near the end anyway?
He was. Navarez was his last hitter. You could see and when he went out for that inning, it was. I told Cranny, I was like, uh-oh. Because he was throwing the ball so well. And I told him, I'm not putting any expectations on you. We'll go inning to inning, And after the third inning, we talked to him, and he's like, I'm good. And he went out, and it was like all of a sudden, I kind of think that he'd maxed out. That was his last hitter, regardless. If he had struck him out, Jesse was coming into the next hitter to face Kane.
Do you guys verbally communicate to the relievers hey, Charlie, we're going to maybe try to push him forward today? You do. So
we have meetings before the game, and it's like with Drew when he's down there. It's like because this time of year, we've used him in different pods or whatever, and it's like tell so and so that to be ready earlier, and things like give him a heads up. And Cranny, we'll call down there and tell him what's going on too.
And so then, in that sense, what do you just think of the job that they did following up with Charlie?
They did great. They did an unbelievable job, as they have been. I mean, and again, it's like I told Luke and Matzik, I was like, well, you get, like 4 days off, and then I'm going to do it again to you, So those guys they're unbelievable how they take the ball and want the ball. And Luke wanted to go back out if we didn't get down there and hit for him in the seventh. He wanted the ball in the eighth. He said, I'm great. I'm good. These guys they're phenomenal. They all stick their head in the door. I'm good to go. They don't want to be down. They like throwing, and they love competing. I mean, it's a great group. I mean, and like I say, I've ridden them pretty hard too.
In the back to the left. Go ahead.
Going back to that Duvall pop out and the freak play by Narvaez and Urias, what did the umpires tell you? What did you see?
All he said was that it wasn't a reviewable play. He didn't really get specific with me. I found out later that it was like because it's a ball in front of the infielders. In the infield, that's not reviewable. I was kind of. I'd like to know more about it if, in fair territory, because I know it can get to be a slippery slope if you're having, that ball's trapped or whatever, and now where can runners go? That's almost impossible. I understand that rule. But I would just kind of seem like in foul territory, you're not worried about placing runners. So that's just something that I'd probably want more clarification of. And if it's a rule, it's a rule. It's just like I talked to Alfonso, and he's like, well, it's the way it is. We're not going to change it right now. So.
Right. And what's your current stance on the whole replay process? Because it seems like we've had a lot of plays go against us, going back to the infield play.
Yeah,
the
we have.
Bomb slide.
Yeah, we have. It's just part of the game. I mean, you got to live with it, and they do the best they can, and it's tough. And there's nothing in this game that's perfect. No matter what we do, any rule, anything that we do in this game, it's not a perfect game. That's the beauty of it. And you can try, and I don't know there's any set of rules, any set of things that we do that's there's going to be some exceptions to those rules. It's just the game we play. It's why we love it and keep coming back.
We'll take a couple more. Gabe, go ahead.
Yes, Nick, you just talked about the job the relievers did today, but to hold them to 6 runs over the 4 games, what about just the job that they did every day?
Phenomenal, our pitching, the whole series, you're right. We knew runs were going to be at a premium. I said early in or the first game of the series, looking at their starting staff, their bullpen, our guys. I mean, it was a well-pitched series, and like I say, runs were hard to come by, and our guys just kept taking the ball. And some of these guys were 4 out of 5 days pitching, but none of them did not want the ball today. They all wanted the ball today, because they knew how big this game was. And they had an off day tomorrow. So they're like, shoot, we'll be off tomorrow and then do it again the next day. But it's been an unbelievable group, the whole group. I mean, how the starters, Charlie wanting the ball today to start the game, get it off the ground, and shoot, he threw great too. My God.
In the back.
Snit, you touched on it yesterday about how no matter highs or lows, you always stayed positive. Just, hey, when we're in the lows, it's going to get going. I mean, is this kind of just the culmination of that's why I did it? That's why I've always, handled the guys this way?
Yeah, no, I always feel like I don't care how bad you're going, because there's things that happen in this game, and you go through runs where and it's not good, and you can't do anything. You got to wear it, and you have to take accountability, because if you handle it and you don't start pointing fingers and you just handle it and come to the ballpark to play every day like these guys do, if you do that, there's always good on the back end of that, always. But you have to handle it, and it's just because it's a long season. But and there's a lot of adversity. I don't care how good a year you have. There's it's not easy to get to where we're to the end. And these guys do a great job of turning the page and staying in the moment. Because I tell them all the time, the most important game you're going to play is one today. It's the only one you can control. Yesterday's gone, and tomorrow's so far away. The only thing you can control is today. And like it, wake up. I always look. I don't care how bad you're going either. I always feel like today's the day we're going to start a big, an 8-game winning streak.
Mark.
You got to Game 7 of the NLCS with a very inexperienced rotation last year. Does the experience you have this year put you maybe in a better spot?
I think so. I think we're in a better position this year. I mean, we were kind of piecing that starting thing together all last year, and now we got 3 guys that are pretty good. And are battle tested and have been through the wars, and I'm sure we're going to have to add another one, or maybe do kind of what we did today type thing. But we'll see when we get there. But yeah, I think we're in a lot better position now than we were a year ago. And we were a game away from getting to where we wanted to go last year. So I like our chances.
Allison.
Snit, I know you had a lot going on today, but how special is it that on the same night you clinched and your son clinched with the Astros? You both have, CSs. What does that just mean?
No, it's
to
cool.
you?
Yeah, I FaceTiming on the field a little bit ago, and it was really. I was watching their game, and it is very special. I'm very proud of him and the job he's done, and I'm excited for him. So we may be the only duo like that in the game. Probably are, I guess. Yeah. So I'm happy for him and proud of him, and that was really special to be able to do that.
David.
So now what about Eddie Rosario? He had that huge game in San Diego with the big hits, and then tonight he comes through with.
Yeah, I told Eddie. We told him at the beginning of the day. It's like, Eddie, you're going to get in this game. You're not starting it, but you're going to play in this game. So, be ready. And really, I wasn't look. That kind of just happened when I pulled Arcia and. Just sitting there thinking, God, we might not load the bases again. But I wanted Eddie to be kind of on point and not go brain dead or anything, kind of lounging around, that you're going to get in this game at some point in time. So that was a huge at bat. Got a tough at bat, fought off some tough pitches, and worked out.
Jeff, did you have one more?
Just circle back to Freddie just one last time here. Could you just talk about what he has meant to you personally as a manager?
He's been unbelievable to me. You have no idea what he's meant to me in my time here. Kind of the go-to guy, somebody I can call. Talk to a lot, run things by him, trust his opinion, the maturity, just who he is, how he goes about it. He's been huge for me in my 6 years here. Huge.
Okay, great. Brian, thank you so much
Thank
for the
you.
time, the whole
All right,
series.
thanks.
Good luck and congratulations.
Thank you.